Welcome to Pilates with the paper towel, okay? So I assume that all of you have a paper towel roll. It can be thick or thinner depending upon you, and if you find it's too thick at any time, modify, squish it a little bit. And please make sure it's wrapped because it has a nasty tendency to unroll if you don't have it wrapped. So even if yours don't have the original wrapper, you might want to just tie it with something or put it in a plastic bag that you tie so you got it there. All right, so let us start with the paper towel between our thighs, sort of mid-thigh, right in the belly of the inner thigh muscles, above the knee, below the hip crease. And it's just there. And then bring your feet about hip distance apart so the middle of your heel lines up with the middle of your buttocks. Now, if your paper towel roll is huge, you might not be able to do that, but I do want a good squeeze on it. After all, it's no worse than a squishy ball, right? And then have your hands down by your side. Oh, and before we start, remember to keep your sense of humor on this workout. All right, so lift up the front of your body, then lift up the back of your body, lift up especially the crown of your head without pushing it forward. You want to pull it back slightly and up to the ceiling. And then let's just breathe. We're going to inhale through the nose and feel your ribs go out towards your arms. Exhale through the mouth and pursed lips and let those ribs come in. Inhale again and grow through that spine. In case your knees have bent and your inner thighs have relaxed, give it a little squeeze. And as you exhale, keep that squeeze to keep the length in your spine and pull your ribs in. Inhale here, get longer. And as you exhale, you're going to pull your feet together and then pull up from the inner ankles toward the paper towel roll and then above the paper towel roll into your pelvic floor. Long spine. As you inhale, hold it there. As you exhale, let it go. We just have one more here. So same thing, we're going to repeat again. Inhale, broaden the collarbones as you widen the ribs. As you exhale, you're going to pull your feet together, squeeze the paper towel roll, pull up from your inner ankles to your inner knee, all the way up to your inner groin, and then add the pelvic floor lift so that your abdominals are engaged too. Inhale, get longer and hold all those engagements. And exhale, let it go. We're going to go right into squats from this. So if it's in an uncomfortable space for you, you could move into a more comfortable space, maybe down towards your knees. Depends upon the length of your femur where you have it, okay? So nice straight back squat. So the hips are going to go back. The back is going to stay nice and neutral. And we're just going to squat, reaching our hands out and come back. Now sit way back. Look and make sure your knees are not going over your toes. You're pulling back. And going down lower. Good. We have 3 more. And 2. And 1 more. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this modification here. We're adding on to this. So I want you to first do the squat. And then from the squat, lean down until your hands either touch the floor or they can touch your shins. Then you're going to straighten your legs up. You're now looking at your knees, and you're going to come all the way up to standing. And let's do that a couple more times, all right? We're going to go down in the squat, go low, and then don't let your hips lift as you pull your abs in, round your back, fingertips to your toes, your shins, or the floor. Now lift your hips and stretch those hamstrings without moving the hips back. Squeeze the inner thighs and the paper towel roll and come all the way up to standing. We have 2 more just like that. We're going to go down in the squat. Keep those hips low and back. Put the fingertips down wherever they're coming. And straighten out the legs hanging. Come all the way up to standing. And we'll do just 1 more here. Squat. Put the fingertips down, hang your head. Straighten up those hips right up to the ceiling. Pull your abs in, pull your pelvic floor away from the roller, and come all the way up until you're standing. We're going to do that backwards now. So first we're going to flex over. Hands can be on your shins, on the floor, on your toes, whatever is good for you. Just flex. Then from the flexion, keep your heels down as you bend your knees. Your hips have to be way back. Then reach your arms up. They can be straight out at shoulder height or up next to your ears, and stand up with a nice neutral back. Put your hands down, and we've got 3 more of those to do. So we're first going to go down in a flexion. Then we're going to bend our knees, pull the hips back, stay low. Bring your arms up toward the ceiling or out from your shoulders, and stand up, pushing through your heels. Bring your hands down. 2 more. Flex over. Bend your knees, pull your hips way back. Bring your arms out in front of you, stand straight up. Bring your arms down, and one more time, you're going to flex over. Get that back warmed up. Bend your knees, straighten out your back. Hold this here for a second because this is a very strong pose. Come all the way up and bring your hands down by your side. Your hips, your back should feel warmed up and a little bit in the shoulders too. So now I have a very squishy roll. So I'm going to just kind of fluff it a bit. It's rounder. I invite you to fluff your roll a little bit. And bring your feet wider than we normally have them for hip distance apart. Normally, I have the heels lined up with the sit bone. Now I have the outer edges of the feet a little bit wider, just a little bit, than my hip line. Then you're going to have the paper towel roll in front of you. And this is not a squat, it's a swing. All right, so I'll turn sort of to the side so you can see. You're going to go down and bounce with your knees and bring it up. And go down and bring it up. It's real easy. The back flexes or rounds, but if you don't want to round your back, you could keep it straight. We're just going to do 2 more like this. Down and up and down and up. All right, now from here, we're going to add on something every time we go up. The first time we go up, it's going to be a lateral flexion. So we're going to bounce down and bounce up, hold it at the top, side bend to one side bend to the other side. Remember what side you went to first, and go down and come back up, side bend to the second side bend to the first side, come back to the center, and swing and recover, side bend to the first side bend to the second side, and swing and recover, side bend to the second side bend to the first side. Going to change the move now. Swing, and instead of coming over your head, bring it right out in front of your shoulders. Keep your hips nice and stable. Rotate to the right, and then rotate to the left. And swing and stand, paper towel right in front of shoulders, and swing to the second side and the first side. So now we're going into a simple rotation. We're going to the first side here, and the second side, and swing. This time we start with the second side. It's second and first. Changing the move, when we come up this time, we're going to abduct one leg. We're going to swing and stand and abduct the leg. And swing and stand and abduct the leg. Remember, when you abduct, the toes are pointing forward. Got one more. Swing and stand and abduct. Now I did it all on the right leg. I'm going to do it all on the left. If you are alternating, keep alternating. Swing and stand and abduct. And swing and stand and abduct. And swing and stand and abduct. One more. Swing and stand and abduct. Next one, when we come up, we're going to bring the leg right in front of us into tabletop. Okay? So it's swing and stand, lift one leg to tabletop. And swing and stand, lift the other leg to tabletop. Swing and stand, lift the first one. Swing and stand, lift the second one. Swing and stand, it's the first. swing and stand. It's the second. Swing and stand. First leg up, swing and stand, second leg up. Now we're going to combine moves. When we come up this time, we're going to laterally flex and abduct. The straight leg lifts, where we go to the side, and then we'll do it on the other side. Okay, so that's the two that we're putting together now. We're going to swing and stand, abduct and side flex. Other side, swing and stand. First side, swing and stand. Second side, swing, stand. First side, swing, stand. Second side, swing, stand. First side, swing, stand. Second side. Enough. This time, as we come, we're going to rotate, but lift one leg into tabletop and rotate toward the leg that you're lifting. Okay? So here we go. We're going to swing and stand, rotate and lift. Other side. And swing and stand. I'm going to the first side. Swing and stand now to the second. And swing and stand to the first. And swing and stand to the second. And swing and stand to the first. And swing and stand to the second. Now, without swinging and standing, we'll go first swing and stand. We'll abduct and laterally flex, and then touch down for a second and immediately rotate and lift the leg. You can watch just once so that you get what I'm talking about. It's going to be a swing and a stand, abduct and side flex, and then rotate and lift the leg into tabletop, okay? When you start going, it's not so bad. You just get the rhythm of it, and we'll alternate sides. All right, so we're going to swing and stand and abduct, touch down, rotate. And swing and stand. Other side, touch down and rotate. And swing and stand and abduct, laterally flex, rotate and lift. Abduct and side flex. Good. And 2 more full sets. Rotate and lift. Abduct and laterally flex, rotate and lift the leg. And that's that. Okay. We're going to go into some back lunging now. It's going to be continual. So I'll show you once, and then there's something else I want to show you before we get down there. When we're down, and I'm telling you to do things with your arms, when I say one on top and one on the bottom, it just means we're going to be turning the paper towel roll over. Then we're going to be kayaking with our arms. Then we're going to be doing a circle with the roller parallel to the floor in both directions without rotating your body. So that's when we're down pulsing. But to get there, I'm going to have the roller in one hand. It does not matter to me which hand. I kind of like to have the contralateral hand. That is, if I'm going back with one leg, I'm going to have it in the other hand. It's just my preference. All right, so just watch it once. You're going to go back in a back lunge, come up and pass the roller under your leg, then go immediately into the back lunge. If you can't immediately go into the back lunge, then you'll pass it under your leg, put the foot down, and then go into your back lunge. Okay? So whatever works for you is fine for me. You don't have to do exactly the number of repetitions I do. You can do them slower. Okay? Because when I start getting going, I realize I'm pretty speedy about this, and it may not be everybody's cup of tea. So take your time if you need to. And we will start. How about we start, instead of with the back lunge, the lift of the leg and the passing of the roller, so everybody knows they can do that to begin with. All right, so I'm holding it like this to get it under the leg. I'm just resting it. I don't have to put my hand all the way around it. So I'm going to bring it under and then go back lunge. And under and back lunge. And under and back lunge. Sometimes I miss. We'll do 2 more. 1 more. And stay down. Okay, now 1 hand on the top, 1 hand on the bottom. Get low and start bouncing through the knees as you turn it once and twice. And 3 and 4 and 5. Stop, nice long arms. Gonna kayak or row to one side and the other, but you're not rotating your body. Trying to hold the body still as you do this. We have 1 more on either side. Don't stop your knees from moving as you circle. 3, 4, 5, 6. Reverse your circle for 6 and 5 and 4 and 3. We have 2 more. 2, 1, and come all the way up. And although I was distracting you with arm movements, it's a leg exercise because I want you to feel some fatigue in the leg. We'll start with the other leg. We'll again start with it in tabletop and go immediately into the back lunge after we circle the roller under the leg. Okay, so I'm going to lift my left leg. My paper towel is in my right hand. And we'll circle and lunge. And circle and lunge. And circle and lunge. Circle, lunge. Circle, lunge. 1 more. Circle, lunge. Stay in the lunge. 1 hand at the top, 1 hand at the bottom. And bounce. Or pulse. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Stop. Lengthen your arms. And you're gonna row or kayak. Maybe you can go lower. We have 2 more sets. Stop and circle parallel to the floor. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Make sure both of your knees are bending. And 6, we reverse the circle now. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And stand up. Good. Stand facing the camera. Have your arms nice and long. They do not have to remain rigidly long, but don't actively bend them. Okay, they can bend a little, but not too much. Holding the roller at either end with long arms, we're going to start above our heads. Without rotating your torso, you're just going to circle the arms and come back up. Minimize the rotation of your torso. 3 and 4. Good. All right, now I'm going to turn to the side. My arms are above my head. My ribs are pulling in. The elbows are as far back as I can get them. I'm going to bend the elbows and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend without lowering them. Straighten. Keep those elbows to the ceiling. Good. Now just come down to a right angle at the elbow. Lower the upper arms to the level of your shoulder and bring them as far back as you can. And try not to pop your ribs. And 3. And 4. With your elbows pointing to the ceiling, straighten your arms and get ready to do those circles again, this time adding a rotation of the upper body only. So hips are stable, upper body's going to rotate. And again, do what you can to stabilize this hip against the rotation of the upper body. 1 more. Here we are right back where we started, and I'm going to do the arm exercises again. So if your arms have come forward, pull them back, squeeze into the roller and lower and lift. Try to bring those elbows toward one another. I know they want to separate. Bring it down just to a right angle. And then the right angle comes down and comes up. So the roller comes about to your forehead and then goes way back to the back of your neck. And forehead, back of your neck, and forehead, back of your neck. Hold it there, squeeze those elbows together, move them back, and then straighten your arms. This time, we're not only rotating the body, but we're going to flex only the upper body, just the upper body, so you feel like a cane, a candy cane. So we're going to start circling, rotating, and flexing, and circle and rotate and flex, holding your hips still and the arms long. We have just one more. Come back up, and here we go with the arm movements again. Pull those navels in and the tailbone down, and bend and stretch. Try not to have the upper arms come forward when you do this. And squeeze and release, come down to the right angle and lower the arms and lift the arms. When you lift those arms, the shoulders are pulling down your back. We've got one more. Hold it here. Stretch the arms up to the ceiling. This is the last variation, and in this one, we rotate and we flex the whole body. If it's not good for your low back when we do this, just repeat what we did the last time with the upper body. So it looks like this. We're rotating and flexing all the way to the ground and coming back up and all the way up. And we have two more. Try to really get down there and come back up and exhale and inhale and stop. And guess what? One more set of arms. So we're going to bend and stretch and bend and stretch. Are you pressing into that roller and simultaneously squeezing the elbows together and then bend to a right angle and lower it and lift it. Make sure that the only movement that you feel here is the arm bone rotating in the shoulder socket. Hold it and bring the roller over your head. And we've only done one side because at least I have always started on the same side. So we have to do it on the other side. Okay, so no rotation of the body, just arm circles. Just 4. I think it's enough. 3 and 4. And you know the story, right into the arm movements. It's bend and stretch and bend and stretch, or tricep extension. Bring it down to a right angle, lower and lift and lower. Squeeze the elbows together as they lift, lower and lift and lower and lift. Keep it lifted. Straighten your arms. Get ready to add rotation with the arm circles. And rotate the upper body only. Keep your hips as stable as you can. There might be a little give, just make it small. One more. Great, right into the arm movements. Bend and stretch and bend and stretch and bend and stretch. Bend and stretch, good. Right angle and lower and lift and lower and lift. 2 more. Lower, lift, lower. Lift, hold it, and straighten out the arms. We're adding upper body flexion now. All right, so we're going to rotate, arm circle, and flex just the upper body. And for me, it's very hard to hold my hips still. And that whole upper body is going around and flexing. I have to really think about it. Come back up. Guess what? Arms again. Bend and stretch. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Bring it to a right angle and lower and lift and lower and lift. When you lift, keep pulling your ribs in. Hold it and stretch out the arms. Now the last one, we're going to flex way down. So start rotating and all the way toward the floor and come all the way back up. And do it again. 2 more. 3, exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale, stop at the top. And squeeze and release. Bend and stretch. Shoulders are pulling down your back. Ribs are pulling back toward your spine. Come to a right angle and see what you can do with those elbows more together. And lower them. And lift them. And lower them. And lift them. 2 more. Lower. Lift and lower. Watch your ribs. Lift. Stretch out your arms. And bring it down. We're done with that one. So not bad. I mean, just repetitions, we're getting the arms right. That was what it was all about. Before we go to the mat, we have just one more to do. It's going to be for our necks. So we're going to put the roll of paper towels on one of your shoulders. Okay, hold it there with the other arm because it has a tendency to roll off. Okay, and then you're going to bring your other arm out at about a 45-degree angle with the fingertips pointing down towards the floor, palm is down. Okay, then you're going to look straight forward and draw your ear into the roller. And as you do that, draw your shoulders down your back, pull up on your pelvic floor, and reach out with the arm that's stretched in the opposite direction so that you should be getting a stretch down the side of the neck where the arm is extended. And then release that. We'll do it 3 times. Bring it over and squish it and see what kind of stretch you can get into the scalenes, into the cleidomastoid, sternocleidomastoid, and come back up. And one more time. Over and back up. Try it on the other side. Arm goes out, shoulders go down, and make sure that you're not slightly turned one way or the other, but that your nose is pointing straight forward. And then just draw your ear down towards the roller and simultaneously pull out very firmly through the outstretched arm. Release. And do it again into the... Now, some people lift the shoulder where the paper towel is, and that's not what we want. Keep the shoulder nice and low. Both shoulders are low. And bring back up. And one more time. Over and get that lovely stretch down your neck. There's never a time that I don't enjoy a neck stretch. And come back up. I'm going to fluff the paper towel roll again in case it got very squishy. And I'm going to put it down on the mat. I'm going to take a moment to move my camera angle, and I'll meet you down at the mat. When you're on the mat, your knees will be bent, and the paper towel roll should be at the bottom part of your shoulder blades, approximately there. Your bra line is a good marker, okay? If you need to change the angle of your computer or camera, please do so. All right. So on our mats, with our handy roller, paper towel roller here, you're going to position yourself pretty much at the bra line. Knees are bent. You don't want your heels close. You want them pretty far. And get your tailbone slightly tucked under, because otherwise it will hyperextend your back when you go over. And then let your back be pushed up to the ceiling as you lower your head towards the mat. If this is too much, then you're going to keep your head slightly off the mat or squish the paper towel roll a little. Reach your hands up to the ceiling. And then with your thumbs toward the back, reach your arms over your head and really reach through the thumb and the middle finger. Just let your back stretch in a supported extension, which is what this is. Just breathe through the nose, feel the ribs expand and contract. If for any reason you feel a pinch in your low back here, bring your heels in Lift your hips, pull your tailbone towards your heels until you feel that pelvic tilt. Then put it down without losing the pelvic tilt, and then walk your feet away. Okay, keep your head down and bring your hands up toward the ceiling. Relax the arm bones in the shoulder socket. We're going to go into scissor arms here. One arm is going to drop toward the floor and back of you while the other one lowers to your hip on the other side. And then switch nice and slowly. Arm movements in extension feel very different than arm movements when you're neutral on the mat. And if you have constrictions in your shoulders, you're going to feel this big time. If it's too much, you just get rid of the roller. And one more on either side. And then the arms meet parallel to one another, pointing to the ceiling. Now we're going to drop the arms into arm circles over your head, swing them around like angel wings, and bring them up again. Nice and slowly so you can feel all the movements of the arm bones rotating in the shoulder socket. When you get to your hips this time, we're going to reverse the motion and do arm circles in the other direction. Your abdominals are engaged here. They're not hanging out. One more. And then again, the arms are going to meet pointing to the ceiling. This time, when we do an arm circle in the original direction, that means going back over your head first. We're going to come up to an ab prep. So when you come up, you're extended here. When you come up, you should be in a neutral back, right? So you're going to drop your hands over your head, swing them around in angel circles, lift your head up, look at your knees, and reach forward with your hands toward the outside of the knees. Make sure that your low back has stayed stable, and then go over the roller without changing the position of that low back. Swing it around and come up to the ab prep again. We have two more. Inhale as you go back, and exhale as you come back. Now it's not very high that you're coming, because if you come higher, you'll go right into flexion, and we want to stay neutral in the lumbar. You go over and come up. Good. Now this time, we're going to go into full Vertebra arms, which means that when we come up, we're going to come all the way up to sitting. Make sure your feet are not too close in, because it'll make it really hard. So you're going to go over the roller, circle the arms, draw the chin to the chest, imprint your back, come all the way up off your roller until you're sitting on your sit bones. And then round your back, go all the way back until your shoulder blades touch the roller, extend your arms over your head, come all the way up, swinging your arms around. And one more like this, rolling down, rounded the whole time. Circle the arms. I love Vertebra arms. It just feels so good. All the way up. Let's change the arms now. Instead of having the arms stay forward, swing them to the side in a broad circle. Then bring them over your head as you come up. Keep the arms next to your ears. And then lower them. And round. And keep the arms next to your ears. If you can't keep them next to your ears, of course, they'll reach forward. Circle. And come up. Good. And then circle and go down. And stay down. Interlace your fingers or touch fingertips in back of your head. And you're going to bring the left leg into tabletop. Reach it out, the two knees are aligned, and as it comes into tabletop again, you're going to lift your upper body toward it. Now you're definitely imprinted and curling the spine, but the shoulders are staying soft, and you're going to go down over it. Exhale as you're coming up, and inhaling as you're going down. Exhale, come up. Inhale, go down. Exhale, come up. Inhale, go down. Exhale, come up. Inhale, go down. This time add a twist. Come up and twist toward it. and go down. Exhale, twist. And twist. We've got 2 more. It's 2 and 1. Excellent. Go down, bend that knee on the ground. I'm going to do the other. Now, if this is too much for you, because we're going from extension here all the way to flexion, and if it's too much for you, don't go all the way into extension, but stay higher every time, because that will alleviate a lot of the stress if you need that. Okay, if you don't, let your head hang over. Let the other leg, for me it's the right, come up into tabletop and stretch it out away from you. You're coming straight up the center as the knee comes back, and then you're going down straight. Inhaling as you extend, exhale as you flex. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Now adding the twist. Inhale, come up and twist. Inhale, come up and rotate. And try to think shoulder towards knee as opposed to elbow towards knee. And 1 more. Good. Put your foot down, put your head down, reach your arms over your head again. Just take a moment. Make sure that pelvis is in a slightly imprinted position. Then lift your head, use your hands if you need to. Keep the roller where it is and bring 1 leg up into tabletop and the other leg up into tabletop. So this is my idea of having a prop underneath you that will keep your upper body a little higher than many of you keep it by yourselves. So it's okay to lean into the roller, but you really want to constantly engage the upper abdominals here to keep the body up as we do the hundreds. Right now, you can keep your legs in tabletop and just concentrate on the upper body lift, or you can straighten and bend the legs, which is what I'll do, but you don't have to follow that. Okay, but think about this real focus is on lifting the upper body higher. So use your hands, pull them up high, just use that roller as a little prop, and then reach your arms out, okay? And here we go, we're gonna do the hundreds, pulsing the arms. It's inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. You may find 2, 3, 4, 5 that you need to bring your legs a little higher when your back is up this high. 5 and stretch, 2, 3, 4, 5. You feel your hip flexors a lot. 3, 4, 5 and stretch. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5 and inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5 and inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5 and inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the legs in. Put your feet down. If you need to, certainly put your hands behind your thighs. If you don't need to, if you need to support your head, do that. And we're just going to gently come up off the roller. Fluff your paper towels. Mine looks like an ellipse. Yours probably does too. Okay, so we're going to make it rounder. Then we're going to go into bridge once and put this paper towel roll underneath our sacrum. So I'll get rid of the roll. We're talking about the low area below the waist, above the tailbone. So right in the center here. So the way I do that is bring to the side, bring my heels close to my glutes, put my head down, make sure that the outer edges of the shoulders are on the mat. Be neutral. Make sure your knees aren't flopping apart even a little. Fluff the paper towel a little bit more. And lift your hips enough that you can put the paper towel roll It's above your tailbone, right? And below your waist. And it squishes, which is fine. Okay? And then you bring one leg up into tabletop and the other leg up into tabletop. And it's similar to having a roller underneath you, except it's a squishy roller, which is not necessarily bad. Okay, so point your toes. Keep the angle at your knee nice and stable. And you're going to alternately toe tap. But your hips are higher than usual. So you're going to hold your low back stable as you toe tap. This is just to warm up the hip flexors. You get a bigger stretch here as you go down across the front of the hip. It's not very difficult. One more on either side. Pause at the top. Have your outer edges of your shoulders rolled up. Roll them down. Lift your chest a little bit, not so much that your low back responds, but just keep broad across the collarbone. Then stretch the two legs up to the ceiling. We're going to go into scissors with two pulses here. And since the hips are lifted, you get an opportunity to get a hip flexor stretch better in the lowering leg. All right, so we're going to have one leg go down and one go up. Pulse it twice and switch. And first side and second side. The breathing is exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale. We have 4 more sets. And 3. And 2. And 1 more. And then bring both legs so that they're pointing to the ceiling. Now we're going to go into windmills. So let's have everybody have the left leg come towards your forehead and the right leg go forward in a scissor split. And then the right leg is going to go out to the right as the left leg comes around. And they're exactly reversed. Now, if you do a scissor, you'll notice that you keep doing circles in the same direction. So that's the idea. We're not alternating directions. We've got 2 more. Just keep those legs moving and get that rotational aspect of the legs in the hip socket. Stop. Now let's switch it so the left leg is going to go forward as the right leg comes back to your forehead. And then do backward circles. And just cross in the center with a single scissor switch. And we've got 4 more. And 3. And 2. Don't forget to breathe. And 1. And both legs meet up at the top. Okay, so try to get the leg line to be very vertical. Now lengthen those legs because maybe they got a little lazy. Okay, so now I want you to flex your feet hard, point your feet very hard, flex them very hard, press through the heels and lower those legs as low as you can go without changing that lumbar spine. Now at the bottom, you're going to point and flex and point and lift the legs to the top. It's flex, point, flex, and go all the way down and point, flex, point, and come all the way up. It's flex, point, flex, and all the way down and point, flex, point, and all the way up. So you can inhale on the pointing and flexings and exhale on the lowering. Now inhale as you point and flex at the bottom and exhale on the lifting. And flex, point, flex, and lower on the exhale and point, flex, point, and lift on the exhale. It's not rushed. Flex, point, flex, and lower on the exhale and point, flex, point, and lift on the exhale and just hold it there. Now reach your arms out so that you're in a T, like right out from the shoulder, and bend your knees. Keep your inner edges of your feet together and simply open your knees and close them. You make a diamond shape, then you bring the knees together. Or you can come into what you consider frog feet and come back. And we're going to do one more. Open and close. Now squeeze the whole lower line of your leg from the knee to the ankle together. And we're going to bring both knees over to the right, lifting the left hip. Now use your obliques on the left to come all the way back to the center and open your knees, close your knees, open your knees, close your knees. Go over to the left, lifting the right hip. Hold it there. Come back to the center. Open your knees, close your knees, open your knees, close your knees. Go over to the right. And this time, if you think you can, you're going to stretch the legs long and keep them long as you bring them back to the center. Bend the knees and open, close, open, close. You're going to the opposite side, lifting the trailing hip. And now when you stretch out the leg, they're stretching towards your palm. And then you're going to come right back to the center with straight legs if you can. If you can't, of course, you bend those knees. Bend the knees and open, close, open, close. Now stay here for a second, and you're going to toe tap with both toes. You don't have to touch, and come back up. And don't let your low back arch, so you go where you can without letting that low back arch more. We've got 3 more like this. And 2. And 1. And then we'll add the double leg toe tap to the progression of what we were doing. So keep your knees squeezing together as you go over towards the right. Stretch out both legs or not, depending upon how you feel. Come back with 2 straight legs. Bend your knees. Open, close the knees. Tap them and lift them and tap them and lift them. Go to the left. Lift your right hip and bring both legs to the left. Reach your legs out, reaching for your palm. Both legs come back to the ceiling. You bend the legs. You open the knees and close them. Open and close them. Toe tap them together and come back up and go down toward the floor. Don't even touch and come back up. We'll do one more on either side. You're going to the first side and stretching those legs. Come back to the center, bend the knees. Open, close, toe tap and lift. And toe tap, hold on to that transverse abdominis. Go over to the left and stretch out. And come back to the center, bend the knees, and open, close, and toe tap, and lift, and toe tap, and lift, and interlace your fingers around your right shin. Pull your right knee towards your chest as hard as you can, and descend your left leg toward the floor. I can reach, I have long legs. If you can't, just descend toward the floor and reach out through the heel with the toes pulling back towards your knee so that you have a very, very dorsiflexed foot, and you should be getting a lovely hip flexor stretch on the outstretched leg. You'll get a better stretch if you pull the bent leg closer to your ribs. Release and switch. Okay, so you're reaching your right leg forward, pressing through the heels, extending the muscle that runs across the hip in the front, and pulling the thigh of the bent leg right into your ribs. And then release that out, put both feet on the ground, bring them fairly close to you, lift your hips, and take out your squishy roll. Fluff your roll. For the next one, you can choose to keep your legs bent. I'm going to stretch mine out because we're going to do a full roll-up with a twist. Your legs can be anywhere in between, quite bent or totally straight. They could be just slightly bent, whatever works for you. Instead of going towards our toes, we're going to reach the roller up to the ceiling, draw the chin to the chest, and reach the roller straight up to the ceiling, so you're coming into an L. Okay, you're going to twist in one direction, and then imagine the right side of your spine touching down, all of those transverse processes touching one after the other, and come back to the center. Arms go up to the ceiling, head and shoulders nod, and then they lift. Now really use those abdominals and come up. You're a perfect L. You should be vertical. And rotate and roll down in that rotation on the left side of your spine. We'll do one more in either direction. Hands to the ceiling and come up fairly quickly. Rotate in one direction. Exhale, roll all the way down. And we'll do the last one here. We'll come all the way up. Good. And twist. And roll. And come down. Bend your knees. Take a moment to imprint your back. Put the roll between your thighs, right above your knees. You can have your hands at about 45 degrees out from your hips so that they're not in a T and they're not right next to your hips. And we're going to keep the angle of the knee fairly constant as we do double leg circles with a bent leg, or you could call these hip circles. Pilates often does. Right, so we're trying not to lift the hips as we rotate the legs in one direction. We have two more like this. And now we're going to rotate in the other direction. As those legs go down towards the floor, your back may want to arch. So be careful how big you make this circle. Try to keep both sides of your hips quiet. Good. Now take the roller and put it between your ankles and straighten out your legs. Again, down on the ground, we're going to do the same motion, but we'll alternate. We'll do one circle in one direction and then the next circle in the other direction. So don't lower your legs yet. Go over to the right and then circle them down. Come all the way back to the left and bring it up. Now go to the left and circle down and around. This is a good example of the difference between doing an exercise with a very long lever, which would be the straight legs, or a shorter lever, which would be the bent legs. We have one more on either side. And here's the other. Now bend your knees again and put the roller between the knees. It will soften the joint, which is nice. You can drop your heels now toward your sit bones, hold on to your shins, lift your head, and let's do just a little bit of rolling. So see if your nose can touch the roller, or come close to it. Pull your abs in, get yourself into a smaller little ball, and roll yourself up to your sacrum without touching your toes to the ground, and come back to your shoulder blades, and come back, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale one more time. Exhale, and inhale. Gently let your back down on the ground. Keep the roller where it is between your knees. Hands on the side, and let's do rollovers with the roller between our knees. So pressing with your whole upper arm and shoulders, really engaging your lower abs. We're going to lift the hips until the roller is just above our forehead, and then roll back. And do it again. If it can't get quite above your forehead, get it where you can get it. And come down. Now we're going to extend the legs on this, so roll over first. Then stretch your legs out. Flex your feet very dramatically. And as you come down, try to keep your legs long and reach them out into the middle of the room as low as you can go without arching the low back. Bend the knees in. And let's come up again. And reach them over your head. Flex the feet. Squeeze the roller to get your inner thighs to help you engage your abdominals. Come back. Now keep your legs straight if you can. Point your toes. Hinge at the hip crease. And roll over with straight legs. And flex your feet and really squeeze the roller. Come all the way down. And reach out through your feet. Remember, don't let the low back arch. One more time. Don't let the back lift. Over and stretch. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe touch the roller to your forehead and your toes to the floor. Flex your feet. And come all the way down slowly. And bend your knees. Bring your heels close to your glute. And let's just do 2 hip rolls before we transition to side series. Hands down by the side. A little stretch in the back of the neck, lowering the shoulders, nodding the chin a little bit. We're going to rock the pelvis beyond imprint and squeeze the roller as you lift one vertebra at a time until you're straight from the shoulder to the knee. Then sink your sternum, roll down. Relax into a neutral pelvis, which always means you got to do a little roll at the end to lift the low back. One more time, squeeze the roller. Roll through your hips. Come all the way up like a snake or a slinky. Squeeze those glutes, use those hamstrings, and roll down one vertebra at a time. Good. And then take the roller from between your knees, fluff it a bit, and put it under your waist as you turn to your side. You want your bottom leg bent and your top leg long. The top leg is in line with your hip, which is in line with your shoulder. And you really want to kind of stuff the roller under your waist. And then lay down with your lower arm extended along the mat. And then bring your upper arm over so that the 2 palms meet. Now let your body weight just go. And you get what I consider to be a very mild but pleasant lateral stretch along the whole side of the body. And just breathe a few times as we do this. And bring the top arm up. Have the lower arm pointing towards me. So we're resting on our forearm. You want to move the roller so it's mid-rib. And it's there to remind you that you can't collapse into it. You have to stay off it the whole series that we're going to do. You want to have the femur angle about a 45-degree angle from your hip. And bring your back leg over it. The feet are going to stay connected. So you can see this 45-degree angle from my hip. Be careful that the back hip isn't falling back, but push it forward so that the 2 hips are stacked. We'll start this lifting your chest, lifting your ribs away from the paper towels. You're going to open the leg and close the hip. Now make sure that the hip has stayed stable. And open and close, and open and close. We have just one more. Open and close. Now you know that's too easy. So this time as we open the knee, we're going to lift the hips without sagging into the roller any time. All right, so the hips are lifted and the knee is opening and we're closing. And exhale and inhale. You should feel right there, the rotators in the glutes. And we have one more. Now, adding on to this, we're going to lift the hips, open the knees, and then stretch out the leg. Then bend to make a diamond, lower the hips, close the knees. Open the knees to a diamond, stretch the leg, bend it back, close the knees, lower the hip. And open, stretch, bend, and lower. Two more. Open, stretch, bend, and lower. One more. And open, stretch, bend, and lower. Good. Let's switch to the other side. Take the roller with you. We'll bend the bottom leg, stretch the top leg, make sure that it's not kicked forward because you won't get as good a stretch if you do that. We're stuffing it right under our waist. And the bottom arm is long, and then the top arm joins it. Now, notice where your head is, because my head wants to go down in a nod here, when it really should be pulling back a little bit. And now let your body weight go. If you're holding tension in your leg, in your hip, just don't. Just sag into the roller to get that stretch. And then come back up, and your elbows down. Okay, fluff my roller a little bit. And then the 45-degree angle is at the femur on the bottom leg. The top leg is on top of it. And trying to lift those ribs. Don't let it sag into the roller. Head back, chin level. And you're going to open and close the leg without moving the hip. The reason for the hand on the hip is to know that it's not moving. Now add the lift of the hips as we open into this called a clam and come down. And open in a clam and lift the hips and come down. Engage your lats as you lift, release them as you lower. Exhale and inhale. Last one like this. Adding on, we're going to stretch the leg. So we come up and open, then we stretch the leg, then we bend it, then we close the knees and lower. And lift, rotate up and down. Let's do a big exhale and a nice inhale. We've got two more. Lift, rotate, reach, bend, unrotate, lower, and lift, open, reach, and down. Good. Take your roller, and this time we're going to have it under the pelvis. So you want it close to the hip crease, probably below the belly button, but depending upon the length of your torso, it might be partially covering it. Okay, so the idea is when you've got the roller there, your hips are lifted off the ground. Can you see that? My hip points are definitely on the roller. My legs are long. I have my forehead resting on my hands. My shoulders are low. Now, flex your feet, pull back through your heels, and have that motion lift your kneecaps off the ground. Okay, we're going to start with whatever leg you want to, and just lift it and lower it. You'll notice with your hips lifted that you get much better range of motion than if you didn't have them lifted. Now bring it down some, but not completely. And then it's going to go out and in, and out and in, and out and in. We have two more. Out, in, out, in. Now put those together. Up, down, out, in. Do not let your pelvis rotate as you make that lift. Hold on to your abs so that the pelvis stays stable. And the glute does this action. That's enough of that. Keeping both legs just the way they are. We're going to do the other side now. I'm turning my head toward you so you hear me better. Ideally, your forehead would be down on your hands. Other leg goes up and down 5 times. 2. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Bring it down, but not completely, and go out and in, out, in, out, in. Two more, out, in, adding them together. It's up, down, out, in. Inhale, exhale, up, down, out, in, up, down, out, in. Last one, up, down, out, in. Let your knees drop. Widen the knees, bend your legs, connect your heels. With your hips lifted, those of you who really find it hard to lift your knees as you squeeze your heels are going to find it easier. All right, so head down, get knees nice and broad. Going to bring your heels close to your glutes. They're not way away from you. And first, just squeeze and release. Squeeze until you feel it all the way up to the butt cheek and release. And squeeze and release. We have one more. Squeeze and release. Now we're going to squeeze and lift the knees and release. And all of a sudden they go flying up, whereas when the hips are not lifted, that doesn't happen. And squeeze and lift and lower. Squeeze and lift and lower. One more. Squeeze and lift and lower. Stretch out your legs a bit and come off your roller. Fluff your roller. And we have just a few more extensions to do before we finish. When you get down on your chest, I want the roller at the manubrium. The manubrium is this part of your sternum. It's below your collarbone, and it's really bony, at least in me. Okay, so this is your xiphoid process. These are your collarbones, and this part is your manubrium here. That's where I want the roller, please. Okay, so it's higher than you might think. Your arms are in a W. So you can almost think of it almost at your collarbone. And then flex your feet and lift your kneecaps. Pull your shoulders down your back and pull your abs up and in. Now your job is to roll the roller forward and lift up into a supported extension because the roller is somewhat supporting you, and then come down until you're flat on the roller. Pull back through the elbows, pull forward through your pinky, and roll that roller and lift into a supported extension. So we're emphasizing the back bend in the thoracic spine, and come down. We'll just do two more. Sometimes it doesn't cooperate and doesn't want to roll very much, but we keep trying. And go down. Doesn't have to move a lot, just let it roll a little, and you'll get the idea how it's supporting you a little. And then come down. Take it away from your chest, put it under your forehead, or maybe just above your forehead. Put your two hands, elbows have to be wide here, on the roller paper towels, and lower your shoulders. Your toes are now pointed so that you're pressing all the toes and the top of the foot into the mat. All right, you're going to take an inhale, shoulders down. And as you lengthen your arms, rolling the roller away from you, you're going to lift into a baby cobra or a baby swan and come down. And let's do it again. Lift and lower. My roller paper towels is anything but round right now. And come back. So it's kind of thumping along the ground. And come back. Now put the roller or the roller paper towels under your forehead. And we're going to lift with it at our forehead and reach the arms long. So whenever we're going to do something like this, remember to press into your toes. Hollow out your stomach. Feel that little pelvic tilt in the pelvis so that the tailbone itself is going toward the heels and not up to the ceiling. Then you're going to lift your whole upper body, including the paper towel roll, reach the arms forward, bring it back, bring it down. It's an inhale to lift, and exhale to reach, and inhale to come back, and exhale to go down. Lift up, reach out, come back, and go down. Finally, because the roller gives us some width, I want you to try putting your forehead on the mat and the roller in back of your head. Now, this is not for everybody. If you have tight shoulders, it probably won't happen, but give it a try. So you want the roller in back of your skull, pretty much at your occipital points, elbows off the floor, shoulders down, reach through the crown of your head and lift up and lower down. Lift up, widen those elbows and lower down. Exhale and inhale, last one. Exhale and inhale. And bring the roller away and sit yourself back towards your heels and round your back. So while you're resting, if in that last one you felt a lot of tension in your neck as you were lifting, it may have been that instead of holding your chin steady, you jutted your chin forward as you're coming up. It's better to hold the chin steady when you have something behind your head and focus on the shoulders staying down. So if you experience that neck pinch, you might want to try that next time. Okay, again, this next move is not for everyone. I'll give you an alternative. I want you to stretch one leg out in front of you. And you're pretty much sitting on the other heel. You're going to take your roll of paper towels and put it under the butt cheek of the straight leg. And for me, that, and if you're sitting on your heel now, take your heel away from your sit bone on this side, so it's out to the side, but bring the two knees close to one another. I have a big calf muscle, so I have to kind of roll the calf muscle out when I do that. And what I'm trying to achieve is that the two hips are level instead of leaning to one side. Again, try. If this is not working for you, by the way, you're going to just come off the roller and just bring the leg in kind of a half frog formation. Okay, so if you can get into the position, it's great because it gives you a wonderful quad stretch, not to mention a whole new concept of keeping your hips level. Okay, so in this position, keeping your hips level, you're going to reach one arm up and side bend toward the extended leg. And then come back and go to the other side. And come back up. Now try to keep steady on the roller and even in your hips and reach both arms up to the ceiling. You're going to turn towards the leg, which is going backwards, so the bent leg. And put your, it's my right leg, so I'm going to put my left hand on the outside of my thigh and my right hand on the floor or the wall in back of me, and twist. And then come back to the center, reach the arms up again, and really lift out of your sit bones, and then reach forward for whatever you can grab, your toes, your ankle, the floor, your calf. Pull your hip creases back on both legs and pull your body forward. And then release that out, and let's do it on the other leg. So I fold the leg back first before I get on this, but you don't have to do it in that order. And you may find it's easy to get your hips level on one side and not at all easy on the other side. That's common. Okay, remember the two knees are not wide apart. They're very close together. This is what I would call my awkward side. So I have to think about this side more. Arms go out. And you're going to side bend to one side. And come back. Side bend to the other side. Now, the hip on this side is lifted a little bit, right? Think of dropping it towards the floor. It'll give you a better quad stretch. And come back. So whatever is propped is, of course, supported. It's the other hip that you're trying to drop so that you stay level. Okay, you're going to reach your arms up. This time we're turning towards the bent leg. Opposite arm goes on the outside of the calf or the thigh. Same side arm goes to the back in your twist. You're pulling both shoulder blades toward the spine. And you can either look over the back shoulder, or if it's easier on your neck, it's fine to look down toward the extended leg toe. Come back to the center, reach out of the sit bones, drop this free hip. And then we're going to come forward to reach whatever you can reach. Ooh, this is my tighter side. And just hold on. Take a moment here and inhale. And exhale. See if you can melt a little further. Inhale. And exhale. And then let yourself come up to a sitting position. Take yourself off the roller, undo your legs. And that's what we have today. And not only can you fluff it back into position, but we'll all feel okay about using these paper towels now because it never came out of the wrapper the whole time. And I hope you enjoyed our little playing session with the paper towel because props make it a little bit fun. If you have the time, come join me on Friday at 11. If you don't, maybe I'll see you next Monday at 3. It's always great to be with you. And that's it for today.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.